whoever you're doing it for, we'll help you get it done. Simply. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.
Alande, make I walk you through my everyday life. Busy from the morning light. My to-do list long, shadow fit to overlap. So sharp, turn on mobile app. School fees check, light bills check. Do I'm with speed like a G4 jet. Baby, other day I am not upset. Check, I don't even use checks to the check.
Join the Absa family and make fast, easy, and safe transactions with our digital products. Log on to absa.com.gh. No long tail. We like 'em simple and easy.
Believe me, no long things in my life. Like I'm simple and easy.
Good evening, cherished viewers, and you're warmly welcome to STEM Festival Mentorship Sessions. I am your host, Lucy Akosua-Fiadonu. Well, the mentorship sessions are aimed for giants within the STEM industry to share with our audience their experiences and prospects in their fields and give them the guidance they may need to reach their highest potential, as well as give them the guidance they may need to reach their highest potential, as well as help them discover and develop their interests and innermost passions. The mentorship sessions are proudly brought to you by Absa Bank Ghana Limited with support from with support from Joy News and Joy Learning. I know I'm full of happiness because today we have someone from our proud sponsor, Absa Bank, that we'll be speaking to. But before we go into that, let's take a quick message from our sponsors.
Today, the question is no longer, why do we have problems? But rather, how can we spin those challenges into opportunities? This is the revolutionary mindset we, students here at Academic City, are driven by. Academic City, we believe that the challenges of today are nothing like the opportunities of tomorrow. Hence, we're poised for the future. And so we say,
come join us.
Pakuli.
Biasonyani.
Fuyai Tibatani.
Zafula Nabia.
Bien rejoindre.
Brabe Kanya.
Ow, Amanasat Shame Hojao.
As we lead the charge to empower the next generation of future leaders. Academic City University College, redefining university education.
Thank you so much for staying on. Like I shared earlier, our mentor for today is coming from our proud sponsoring partner, Absa Bank Limited. And he is a technology enthusiast with years of professional experience in software design and development. He believes in providing solutions to everyday problems and creating business value using technology. And please note that creating business value using technology is going to be the focus of our discussion today. So do send your questions or your comments around this critical topic to our NSMQ page on Facebook, as well as STEM First page on Facebook. We will not take much time. Happy to introduce Mr. Alexander Nsiah, and he is the technical product lead at Absa Bank. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining us. I know it's a busy time this time of the year. We're closing in the quarters, final quarters of the year, and you're trying to wrap up on a few promises, KPIs, and what have you. But you have found time to join us today and to speak to us about your world.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and as busy as we are, STEM is Absa as an organization. We hold STEM to our hearts, and so once the call came up, definitely we had to show up and make time for it. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. We're
grateful to have you, and we're all ears to hear about how your journey has been and who Alex is, and of course, tease us to join you on this tech journey.
Sure. So yeah, brief background on who Alexander actually is. I'm not going to take you way back in time, but yeah, in terms of education, I'm an old student of St. Augustine's College in Cape Coast. For tertiary, so at St. Augustine's College, I read science, so your basic physics, chemistry, mathematics, but in my case, I swapped biology for agricultural science as a preference because I realized I had more interest in agricultural science than biology, so I did that swap. For tertiary, I studied at the University of Cape Coast. I read computer science, and I focused mainly on software development for my tertiary education. In terms of my journey, my corporate journey, it's been filled with ups and downs, with struggles here and there, trying to find your feet in the field. But I'm just going to try to sum it up a bit for you. The tech field is quite a hectic one. It's quite an interesting one. I should say that it took a lot of effort and dedication to be able to get this far. You need to actually have a passion for what you're doing because it's a field that is going to task you, and you have to prove your worth actually in this field. So for me, my journey started off quite early as a child, where I wouldn't say I was into computing, but I just had a desire to figure out how things work. So I would be the child who would open up the TV remote, the child who would, you get me a toy car today, by afternoon it's opened, I want to see what makes it tick. So, you know, your typical African home, you are the one who destroys stuff, actually, yeah. Your mom will beat you, your dad will be angry because whatever they get for you, you're messing it up and stuff like that. But I just wanted to know what made those things tick. And fast forward, I think, after SHS, I had the opportunity to meet someone who was into software development. I saw the person writing programming, actually, and I got interested, so I asked what the person was doing, and so the person was kind enough to explain to me. And I think from that moment, I realized, okay, this is something I would love to figure out. A defining moment for me would be after SHS, where I got admission to study actuarial science and then to study BSc physics at KNUST. And I say defining moment because I had realized the passion I had for computing, and so at that age, I took a decision to stay back a year and then reapply the following year so I could do computer science. Obviously, my dad he wasn't very happy with this decision, and you know, mothers as usual will try to sort of align with you and comfort you, and that she did, and I'm really grateful to her for that, for giving me that support. So yeah, I decided to stay back. I enrolled at IPMC to do my hardware. Yes, and it's I think it's not easy. I think when I was taking the decision, I felt, yeah, you know, power to the people. I've taken this decision on my own, but reality would soon hit in, or it will soon set in, where, you know, society and how we see things. People would meet you, oh, okay, so which school are you in? Then, you know, like reality just sets in and you're like, oh, come on, yes, you didn't go with your badge. Wow, is it really worth it, this decision you took? You know, so you have yourself second guessing yourself, and, you know, my support system, which is my mom, was also going through her own struggles. You know, women and how sometimes they are moms and how they are actually. So after church, through discussions, people will ask, oh, Obano Wahin, then you now have to explain to them why your son, in quotes, decided not to go to school this year and all that stuff. But through it all, I think it actually gave me more motivation to make sure that that 1 year at home actually does count. So yes, I built up my love for technology right from there. I started programming at that age, and so when I went into school, I must say probably I had gotten a bit of a head start. I could write one or two things. I tried to identify problems in my environment, and then I tried to provide solutions to them. So basic things like how to calculate your GPA. I tried to write softwares for them so students can use to calculate that stuff. In terms of voting platforms for elections on campus, you tend to write stuff. So the plan was to find practical applications for what I was learning, and I think I found that on campus. So it's been practice all along, and yeah, with dedication and God's help, here we are today.
No, thank you so much. You did promise me a very succinct presentation, and you're spot on in delivering that. No, thank you so much for that. And but let's dive deep. Though you're trying to skip a few of the stages, we will go back.
I get you.
We will go back.
Yeah, honestly.
We get that you went to Augustine's. I know the Augustinians. How do you call yourself? Absu. My apologies. The Absunians out there are rallying and cheering on. This is one of your very own who has come thus far, a STEM giant in his own right. But we want to understand. I know you're the destroyer, not Castro, but you are you are the destroyer. So this is primary school, JHS.
Yeah.
And any defining moments within those times of your life that maybe a change could have occurred, that, okay, you might have done the biology which you did not do, or did something else. We just want to understand how, you know, how early you can get these experiences or opportunities to make very critical decisions, as early as in your JHS, if you don't mind.
Okay. So I think for that, looking back, yes, as early as JHS, you could start, because in primary years we were introduced to computing, but you know, it was a different animal to us, where you had people in class who were afraid of touching the mouse, you know, that kind of stuff. Computing was now just picking up in Ghana, right, so to say. So yes, but in JHS, I was lucky enough to have somebody to look up to. Like I said, the friend I saw programming, because it could have taken a different turn altogether, because the same tool I was using to study had different sides to it. That is your computer and then the internet, right? The internet has so much content. You can watch movies, there's pornography, there's a lot of content. You can easily get diverted from, what you actually seek to do. But I was lucky enough to have someone who'd check up on me. How far with this project? What are you working on now? Are you struggling with anything? What do I need to explain to you? So I think that constant checkup kept me on my toes, because yes, I was young, and the 1 hour I would spend at the internet cafe to study could easily be spent watching sports highlights or, I mean, Googling cars or something, playing games or something like that. So having that mentor at that early stage, I would say, was very beneficial to me. But I mean, currently, it's in today's age, it's quite easier. Kids are starting off as early as 2 years to learn this stuff, and it's exciting for me, and I like the fact that those opportunities are there now, and I actually look forward to teaching my kids all I can quite early because their brain is fresh and can absorb things. So, yeah.
Let's play the devil's advocate. If you didn't have this mentor of yours, maybe if he's watching us, you want to send a hello to you, mentor, no name.
Yeah, he knows himself. Ahmed, I don't know if he's watching, but yeah, Ahmed, your boy is grateful.
Ahmed, we are grateful. But if Ahmed didn't come into your life, what do you think would be, things you would have done because you wanted this, you loved this, Just so that for some of us who don't have the Ahmeds of the world in our lives, we don't have the support, we don't have all of this, how can we still, meet, those targets, those passions that we have?
Sure. So, in my honest opinion, I would say you have to figure out what you actually want, right? You have to define yourself. I know in those early stages, you're easily led by the crowd. So you have your mates doing or offering science in school. You have no passion in science or in business, but just we have a culture where because you, in quotes, you're identified as maybe brilliant, we feel you have to become a doctor, you have to become a pilot. We associate brilliance with certain professions, right? But once you're at a certain age, you know what you want. You can't say you want to be a doctor when you and I know that you're scared of a little blood. So what are you telling yourself? You're scared of heights and you say you want to be a pilot, that kind of stuff. So at quite an early stage, I think you know what you want. And if you have a desire to figure out how things work, you have a desire for technology, you're not just a user. I'm not talking about watching movies on or using VLC player to play movies on your laptop. That is not software engineering, no. But you have a desire to know what is making what I'm watching possible. Yes. I would say you're lucky because there's a lot of content out there. The same YouTube that you're using to watch other stuff, there are a lot of tutorials out there, right? We're lucky enough to have platforms like LinkedIn out there. You can go on LinkedIn, search for people in a particular field. I'm always available. You send an invite, I accept. I mean, yes, once I see your dedication, definitely I'm going to give time to you. And I know a lot of people in my circle who do that often. So the possibilities are endless as it stands now, but you have to be dedicated and you have to be committed and figure out what you want.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This is your JSS story. You had Ahmed, you went to Absa and decided to do a Greek. Did that impact you in any way? I know you had the love, or because you didn't like drawing, or you're going to dissect some rabbit and cockroach and what have you. So let me pass on this and do something more that makes more sense. No, with all seriousness, why they are Greek? I really want to be convinced. And how has that helped in any way today?
Okay, so I think with this question, my wife is probably laughing at home because I'm a Greek guy who's not doing anything at Greek now, but baby, you will see me shy. Hey. So actually, it was more of I didn't have a love for the biology of stuff, right? It didn't tickle me in any way, but I had a true passion for the Greek because even prior to going to school, I was keeping stuff like, my boys are going to laugh at me. I was keeping stuff like rabbits and stuff. Okay. I had a genuine interest in it, so it was something I could easily ace. Yeah. So yes,
you have the practical example.
Exactly. And I loved to read. So yes, I can easily ace that. Then it gives me more time to focus on my physics and chemistry and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, basically that was it. I didn't want to worry because biology is one of the tough ones, or at least in my opinion.
Right.
So if I could skip that and then focus more on my maths and my physics and chemistry and try to ace that. Why not? So that was a strategy for me.
Strategy.
Yeah, that was a strategy
Awesome.
for me. Yeah.
Absu, ups and downs, you said, or that was when you did your computer science. But Absu, ups and downs, and most of our viewers are SHS students. Of course, you know from the National Science and Maths quiz.
Yeah.
Share with us. Science student, being a science student in an all-boys school is sometimes not easy.
Okay, so I think for SHS, the whole idea is you're growing, right? You're a young man, you're growing. The school is to build you. So by all means, get involved in everything that comes with the school, the Jama, every now and then maybe sneaking in a phone or something. Let the school life go through you, but never forget where you're coming from, right? Personally, I always had a limit. So as boys, we are adventurous. Sometimes we would say we want to go and visit girls at maybe Ebri, right? Yeah, it's a normal. It's a normal thing, right? But I say remember where you're coming from, because in some of these adventures, sometimes it just dawns on me. Okay, so wait, you're going, something happens. What's mommy going to say? How do you even narrate this? So that served as a boundary for me, and then to keep me focused. Now, remember where you came from. The school involves a lot of things. Like I said, let the school also pass through you. But at some point in time, have a reality check, right? So at a point, there was a point where I found myself, and I realized that my grades weren't good. And it dawned on me that, like, this is not you. What are you doing to yourself? Like, yeah, so that was like a reality check for me. So in as much as we're having fun together as friends, once we're out of school, everybody sort of needs to find their own way. You need to find, or you need to land on your feet. So have that reality check every now and then. Remember where you're coming from, and then just stay focused.
What was your nickname? And who was that girl you went to Ebri to go?
I didn't go because of my mom.
What was your nickname? Tell us. Or was one for the pockets?
Yeah. No, I mean, my boys from the past will go like, yeah, it's my current friends I'm worried about.
You don't want them to know?
No. I'm not going to hear the end of it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go on that one. No, we're building the story, viewers, and we're understanding how life, I mean, actually practically being in your shoes and walking through the walls of St. Augustine's. I hear it's close to a wonderful seashore.
Yeah. The only school with
you never tried to go and
resort.
swim?
Oh, we tried it. I mean, it's part of letting the school go through you. Yes, maybe sometimes you may sneak out to town.
This sneaking. Are you sure you didn't go to this Ebri?
Oh, not Ebri, but we sneak elsewhere, but not Ebri. Ebri is far. Ebri is far, I mean, you feel, it's one of those things, you feel trapped. So I think it's normal as human beings. Yeah. The fact that the school has said you need an exit to go somewhere, something in you wants to break bounds. Right? But I realized after school, you're in the uni, no exit, you're not going anywhere. You don't have any desire to actually go anywhere. So then what was the point? But
I mean, what was that?
Maybe it's the hormones, maybe it's there, but yeah.
Thank you. You have shown us how we'll be able to deal with that. Remember where you're coming from. And then maybe where you want to go. Exactly. As well, sometimes you're not motivated by where you're coming from, but where you want to go can also serve as a motivation for you. So that's absolutely. Are you sure there's no other high point? High point. Maybe
I don't think the session
or something.
No.
Were you part of maybe the Brilla team or?
No, actually I wasn't.
You're
so
just passing through.
I'm quite shy. So
right.
I try to stay away from the limelight. To be honest, yeah. So.
Did you have any regrets having not done or done something
so,
STEM-wise whilst you were in St. Augustine's? Is there any regrets you have?
I'm reflecting. Yeah, looking back, I think just maybe I could have kicked off my tech passion a bit earlier on if I had joined. But then it's a double-edged sword, right? It's also possible that if I had joined, I would go down the line of do my master's, become a professor. I won't be actually doing tech. Yeah, which is what I love. But yeah,
it's still good.
It's still good.
And you shared with us that junction where you had actuarial science, and your grades were good, and you also had physics. Can you? Where did you get the actuarial from?
UCC.
Oh, okay. You had wow.
So yeah, I mean, usually we buy the different,
as many forms as possible.
Exactly.
So computer science, actuarial, and BSc physics.
No, so physics and then the actuarial.
Okay.
I hadn't applied for computer science, so
okay.
Yes, I hadn't applied. It was one of those things with my dad. Actually, he wanted you to go and do this. I think the actuarial science was also the kind of the ish back then.
It was, yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it still is today.
It still is, but. I can do mathematics, but I don't look forward to it. So I just didn't see myself. So the question was always, so yes, you do it 4 years. What next? What next?
Is this something we should look out for because you can do it? You're not looking forward to it. I really want to understand that feeling and how we can manage that. And of course, your voice of your mom, your voice of your dad. How do you manage all of that?
Okay. So looking back, I don't regret taking those decisions, but I feel like I could have handled those situations a bit better, especially with my dad, where you don't come off as rebellious. You get it? So yes, he's or your parents, they are humans. Listen to why they want you to enter that field. So I remember for my dad, his opinion was that physics is broad enough. So if you excel at the physics, once you're out of school, then you can narrow down and then be specific. I want to go into computing. But in my opinion, I was like, okay, but for me, that would have been 4 years. I would have lost 4 years of experience. I would have lost in computing because now I've done 4 years in university and I now want to specialize. Meanwhile, I can start my computing in those 4 years. By the time I come out, I've sort of, yes.
I think some of the cocktails, the cocktail of courses they put together,
exactly.
They give you a bit of that, or even the foundation. Well, from my experience, you do a bit of physics to refresh,
yes,
but then
you do the physics, you do the chemistry, then maybe you drop it at level 300 and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's I think it's a communication. You can talk to your parents. I had to take a bit of a rebellious route because I had also figured out what I wanted.
Right.
Exactly. But if the parents actually do know best sometimes. They know the job market. Yes, they know the job market.
They know, yes, in it.
You may have a passion for something, but the truth is there won't be a job available for you when you're done. So yes, it's good to listen to them. Let it make sense to you. But once you're convinced, talk to them and take the right step.
And your mom?
You know moms and how they try to be tough, but they get sad when they see you sad. So if you have a child who is manipulative, you can sort of manipulate the moms, and yes, but because the moms will try to side with you and try to keep you happy, but you have to make sure you have a plan. Yes, once you have money.
How do you mind asking? You have siblings that you're looking up to, or they're looking up to you, and so that also played a role in some of the rebellious decisions.
So I think I find myself in that sweet spot. I'm not the first, I'm not the last. In between. You can
decide to make any mistake.
You see that thing, But yes, my elder brother and sister, they've been a great inspiration.
Awesome.
My brother is also an Absu, so I mean, one of the great motivations was seeing he and his friends grow up. They taught me everything was possible because you see them grow up, they're out of school, someone is doing his master's here, someone is working here, and they were always an inspiration. So they gave me, they allowed me to dream. It didn't limit me. I didn't find myself in a circle where they're out of school. It allowed me to dream. They showed me anything was possible because, it's not easy to go out there and go and do your master's and come out and you're fending for yourself. I saw them buy their first cars. I saw them get excited about certain things. And so when they're having these discussions, I pick cues from there. And generally, I think it just changed my mindset that you can't limit yourself. It's possible.
Everything is possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
I learned yesterday the word impossible. It's actually reading impossible.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yes.
That's a good one.
Good stuff. So this is the decision to actually choose computer science over actuarial, over BSc. Equally fantastic courses that anyone will take, but the decision and then the focus on doing technology and making sure that I know what's causing this to tick is what's pushing you up. But I know sometimes you go in maybe year 2, Charlie, was this the right decision? Make I go take the actual back. Was there any moment like that in UCC? And hey, UCC is not an easy place.
That's what, yeah. So yes, I think there was a point in time like that where I think UCC we do mathematics till the 3rd year, right? Yes, and it seemed to get tougher as you.
Please tell us some of the maths you have been doing so that we know what to look at, because maths, they have names. Discrete mathematics and calculus and algebra. Tell us.
Don't make me cry. Discrete mathematics. So I think
that's a killer, but
3rd year discrete mathematics, and you have a lecturer who is proud that nobody can score a certain mark.
Oh my God.
You know, those kind of lecturers, those kind of stuff, and sometimes I feel like you can't drop the course too.
No.
And I remember one time we had a quiz. Someone comes and, Charlie, the TA say, no, it was an assignment. The lecturer gives an assignment. One of the guys knows the TA. We go for the TA to solve it. So with him we submit, and I got 2/20. TA, like, what? It's what it says. So I mean, those courses were kind of those courses were some of the tough ones. But luckily for me, I had one good friend of mine who is an Ivorian. You know, the Ivorians are good with mathematics. Yeah, so I held on close to him. I mean, in terms of studying.
He was also in the UCC?
Yeah, he
was also reading
computer science, actually. Yeah, awesome. A very good friend of mine. So I stayed close to him, studying together with them, because it came naturally to him. He understood
the strategy.
Exactly. He's able to break it down for you. So I think the strategy would be to have a team. In the team, everybody would have something, would have strengths, would have what they are good at. And once we are learning together, someone is able to break it down to the point where you can also understand it. Yes, so I think it's strategy, because they'll get to points where, in terms of we're doing maybe a Java course and I have to assist. So yeah, I think that strength in the numbers actually also helped.
You didn't stop.
Nah.
You still went ahead and finished with the first class.
No. So
no, not to put you on the spot.
No, a second class upper, actually.
Awesome, no.
Yeah, but I mean, stopping was not an option for me. I mean,
you have to prove Daddy wrong now.
You know, right?
That's enough motivation.
Like I can't hear the end of it too.
Oh my goodness.
But, yeah. I had to keep going, and I was enjoying what I was doing, and
that's important.
I think at that stage too, I had gotten to a point where I was able to build
I was coming to that.
And websites and
what did you build?
Start selling that kind of stuff.
I actually had a question here. How much money have you made? Because I heard voting app and GPA app. Please tell us. Because remember, our focus is creating value using technology in Pacho.
Okay.
Values.
Yeah. So in terms of, I mean, those apps, those GPA and voting apps and all those things, those were, in as much as people were benefiting from me, I was giving it to them for free. It was a testing ground for me, to prove myself.
Something small, crowd.
Yeah. It's exciting to have a platform or something you have built being used, and it works.
It works, yeah.
It works.
Satisfying.
Right? Yeah, it's very satisfying, and it teaches you life. So something like the voting app, for instance, small campus voting app. I had people coming to me in my room to pay for you to tweet or to modify results, that kind of stuff.
Even if you do this, it will go to.
When somebody clicks,
I thought those were rumors, so
to that kind of stuff. Oh no, even campus politics is like the usual politics. They take it personal. Wow. I was surprised when I was getting those offers, but that aside, I think
not even one. You didn't take it.
Oh no, it wasn't worth it. It's,
Your integrity will shine through, and these are the kinds of things that, as a professional, and especially in this very specialized field, you will come to, and so will come to you, and so you need to make these decisions very early.
Exactly, because in
your life,
the same people you bend for, when the time comes for them to actually recommend somebody, then they hesitate because they know they've been able to circumvent you. You get it? Yes. So you need to think of the future. You may think you are helping the person now. You may think you are in their good books, but say today United Nations needs a platform and it's very sensitive. It involves money. Somebody you circumvented a system for back then, whose credibility is now on the line if they recommend you, they won't, because they know you've done it before. They can't be 100% sure that you won't do it when they put you there.
We are learning from this.
They won't
We are learning from this. We are absolutely learning from this. Oh, but still, how much money? Genuinely, how much money?
Oh no, so I can't say. So the actual money came from recommendations on projects. So like I said, websites, building websites for hotels back then. And I think that's the thing. There's a lot of potential in Ghana. So you can make money off of something as simple as you have a lot of businesses in Ghana, or even back then, what I realized that we had a lot of businesses that were using Yahoo Mail and so beach resorts at hotmail.com. So all I was doing was that, hey, you need to brand yourself. I can give you, let's say, coconutgroovebeach.com. Then you can have marketing at coconutgroovebeach.com.
Awesome.
It makes it more professional. It makes it more, and yeah. So there's money, and these are things that have kicked off in the outside world, but they are still picking up here. And yeah, it's an avenue to make money. All those things. So you just need to be able to identify these areas and then see how you can help with technology.
We love where we're going with this money conversation. You know, growing up, if you do science, you can't really, you see a professor's car and you're not too enthused about it. So we really need to understand, because that's our focus, like I shared earlier, creating value through technology. And of course, motivate us so that we know that all the monies that our parents have spent, we will sort of reap it back one way or the other. So please open up onto us avenues, opportunities where we can apply our tech skills to make money. Some may be obvious, some also we may not know. So please do educate us.
All right. So in terms of creating value, I'll take it from the point of being employed in an organization, right? Obviously, a company will only employ you because of the value they will get from you. So as a professional, you need to be able to assess and value yourself in the sense that I'm a software developer, I'm joining or I've joined the company. I shouldn't have the mindset where I develop systems and that is it, I'm just developing systems. I need to be able to go a step further and to be able to assess and define that system A that I have developed has been able to generate X amount of revenue or money for the company that I am in. Now, very often as techies, that's the side we miss. We're so engulfed in what we're doing. We're so doing the technical and mechanical, the fit ejumano, that we get lost in there. But it gets to a time in your career that it's not enough just doing that stuff, because that stuff is not your MD or CEO is not interested in that stuff. They know that stuff exists, but it's not their language. So if I get a chance to meet MD, I can't go telling MD about the latest technology or the latest algorithm. What I can tell MD is that, say I have implemented this latest algorithm here. However, this is how much it has translated, or how much it has brought revenue, how much revenue it has brought to the business, that's how much profit it has brought to the business. So then MD can also relate to it and see that, okay, there's actually benefits coming from technology. You get it? That's the kind of language that we as tech people need to start speaking, because we're doing the work, but we're not able to
sell your story.
We're not able to sell our story, actually.
There's a very interesting question here from Nanakurang Soja on Facebook. So many people have said programming is boring, or it's a boring endeavor. How do you get around it, and more so when it's a career, he says. Nanakurang, thank you so much for your question. Please keep them coming through.
Okay. All right, Nana, so then I'm surprised anybody thinks programming is boring.
It's lines of code, Anna.
Yes, it's programming allows you to play God. You're creating something.
Okay.
So I don't see it there. It actually keeps me up at night.
Okay.
So the thing is, once you start programming, once you start developing something, you want to see it succeed. You want to see it complete. So you often find yourself in a situation where you think you're sleeping, but your mind is actually working, trying to figure out why something you were doing is not working and stuff like that. And personally, I think I would recommend programming to anybody, especially if you're now getting into the tech field. Reason being that once you start with programming exposes you to other areas of technology. So typical example, if I'm programming, I'm working on a product or a software, I get to a point I realize, okay, my customers or users need to be able to log in. I need to be able to store the birthdays of my users and stuff like that. How can I do that? Then, as a programmer, I realize I can use databases for that. So I need to read on databases and learn how databases work and come and implement it. So I'm a programmer, but now I know about databases. I get to a point, my system needs to talk to another system. How can I get that to work? I'm a programmer, now I'm figuring out how two systems can talk over networks and stuff like that. So as with the years of experience you build up, you realize that most dedicated programmers, they are programmers, but they are jack of all trades. They can speak to stuff. If you are not careful, if you meet a confident programmer can come into your field and make you feel like you don't know what you're doing because of the small stuff he has read, and he can link the two together. That's it exposes you. So I don't see programming being boring. And let me use the opportunity to say this, that there's also the perception that it's programming is difficult and it can't be done, and it is not. Anybody can learn programming, especially if you're young. I believe probably the majority of our audience will be young. Time, they say, is the currency of life, right?
Time is the currency of life.
So whatever you use your time for now shows or indicates what you can actually gain in the future. So technically, the younger you are, the richer you are, because you have more time to learn more things. So don't let anybody scare you. I mean, programmers, we like to scare people. When you come there, we change the screen to black, and then the thing is running, and anybody can learn it. It just takes dedication.
Right.
Yes, anybody can learn it. So don't let it scare you. It's an interesting
No,
thing.
we're not scared, but we are awed by the many caps you have won so far. So currently you're the technical product lead. You will tell us what that means, because it's a bank. I don't know what products again. No, of course, but please, for our audience's sake and our viewers, both online and watching, you will explain what goes on your, on your day-to-day. Sure. Great. And in your time as a systems administrator, so that's another career prospect. We also see that you are an application developer specialist. That's also another cap you've won. A systems engineer, a development operations lead. So already that's like 5 to 6 different caps you've won so far. So maybe if you can touch, maybe starting from the earliest, and as you have progressed to the product lead that you are today, and what each entails.
Sure. So I think the earliest one will probably be the systems administration, right? That is professionally. I chose to apply for that job because I didn't want to be a one-trick pony. I didn't want to be a developer and that's all I know.
Okay.
I wanted to get experience as a systems administrator. However, when I got into it, I realized that after a month or two, I was bored, in the sense that...
Hey, Nana Korang's question.
No, so I was bored in the sense that I was bored as a system administrator because coming from the development background, the manual things I was doing as a system administrator, in a month or two, I had automated most of them.
Okay.
So
there's nothing left to do.
Yes.
So
I come
you're
to
looking
work.
for new.
Yes. What should have taken me the whole day? I click something and
2 minutes
it will be
and
running
you're
in the
done.
background. So then what next?
Okay.
So eventually I had to. From there I moved into a software development role again.
Right.
Yeah. And then, so I'm doing software development, but the excitement comes with how challenging the next project is.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So that's the fuel.
Yes.
challenges.
Yes.
Okay.
It's annoying at first, but you realize that is what deep down that is what you live for.
Right.
You want the project to challenge you, and when it's done, you look at it and you're like, I made that. You know, if it makes you feel content, that kind of stuff. So yes, different hats, but from system administration, it's all been in line with software development, and of course, technology keeps evolving. So I've had to do DevOps. I've had to be in a role of DevOps
development operations.
Development operations engineer, right? Where through that I've been exposed to cloud technologies. So I've had to write my certification in AWS. So as technology is evolving, I think you can't be a one-trick pony. You have to sort of evolve with it. So over time, I've evolved with it, hence the different roles that you're seeing.
Yeah. I want you to touch on the certifications so that, you know, as we're building and some are putting together their vision boards, the to-dos, what I need to do, they'll know that I'll look out for this to do, I'll look out for this to do, so that we're well informed and armed for our future. Okay.
So what I'll say when it comes to the certifications is that first off, don't choose the certifications over the actual skill. Okay. Right? This minefield is one where, let me put it this way, if your fundamentals are weak, the field will expose you. Right? I mean, you can't tell me you're a software developer. Maybe you can bluff your way through an interview. So yes, you get a job, and then what? We tell you develop ABC for us. Maximum 2-3 months, you'll be exposed. Like, then I'll be that kind of stuff. Are you going to use Excel to do it for me, or like? So get the skill, because that will serve as the foundation, right? Now, when you have the skill, those who know you have the skill. But how do you then sell yourself to other companies? Is the certifications they will look at. Right. Now, because you've gotten the skill, passing these certifications often, it becomes easy because it's something you know how to do. So don't fall into the trap of you have the skills but you don't have the certifications, or you have the certifications but you don't have the skills. How do you find the balance? Because that's the thing, that's the substance. Yes, so finding that balance. Please tell us. We need to know. So my trick is get the skills. Get the skills. Yes. Find time within a year. Give yourself a target. I know my boss will be smiling at this, because I have 2 certifications I have to do this year. I haven't done yet. Boss. So within a year, yes, confessed. Give yourself a target. Say you want to do this, say 2 certifications or something, and then make time to actually do it. Because like I said, that is what will put your foot in the door. Right. That is what, when somebody looks at your CV, the person doesn't know you, they've not interacted with you yet, but okay, he's certified in this area, and that is the area I need. So yeah, you push your foot in the door. Then in the interview, you blow them out of the water, you get a job, then you have the skill, so when you go to, you deliver. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Exactly. So, you are happy? In what I do? Yes. Oh, I wish they would increase my salary, but yeah, I'm happy. But what do you do? Product lead, technical product lead. What do you do? So that your boss should increase your salary. What do you do, sir? So in terms of products, yes, we find ourselves at a time where banking has sort of converged with technology. Actually, yes. You can't even find the difference now. Exactly. So it's made developers or tech guys indirectly, we've become hotcakes, sort of. Yes, because we're driving the business in a way. Yes. So what I do basically is to be able to transform what the business needs into something that technology can understand, and then technology can also sort of build it. And in most of the cases, take that again, so we assimilate. So there's always a gap between the business and then technology, right? Business wants to say, business will probably say, our app is boring. I wish I can just open the app and then I can start transacting. They've said it is one line. That's it. But in the eyes of tech, workflow. Exactly. A lot of things goes into it. So it's more of being able to understand what business is saying, translating that into tech, and then sort of building it to the satisfaction of what business wants, and then we merge the two, and then as a business, okay, we've launched this, we've launched that. So handling those product life cycles and stuff, and building those products is basically what I do. So I'm still a glorified software developer. Fancy title. Fancy title. Yeah. Where next from here? This question. So yeah, when next?
When next, or and what next?
Okay. I think they are the same question.
No.
So it's yeah.
Well, if you maintain that, that's okay.
So basically, in the field I find myself, as you progress, you need to take a decision, right? There are usually two paths. You are either going hardcore technical, or you branch off and move into managerial roles, and you want to become CTO, you want to become managing director, that kind of stuff, right? It's a personal decision, really. What you shouldn't do is to fall into the trap where, because you love what you're doing, you take the purely technical role. So you are something specialist. You are senior engineer, something specialist, right? I feel everybody is sort of, we know you are the boss.
Yeah.
But in most organizations around, there's a cap to that.
Okay.
Regardless of how specialist you are, let me use that way, how specialist you are, you won't ever take as much as the MD.
Okay.
So if what drives you is the money, is the title, is the ability to be able to influence or have a larger influence over how companies run and stuff like that, then you need to reconsider and sort of take the other path where you have the technology background, but you're building yourself as a leader as well. Exactly. So for me, I think as it stands now, yes, money and compensation is a huge motivator. So I'm also going down the path of being able to do more as a leader and as a manager.
I'm just smiling because we want to take a very sweet message from our sponsors.
Sure.
Whoever you're doing it for, we'll help you get it done. Simply. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.
Alande, make I walk you through my everyday life. Busy from the morning light. My to-do list long, shadow fit to overlap. So sharp, turn on mobile app. School fees check, light bills check. Do I'm with speed like a G4 jet. Be at the day, I am not upset. Check, I don't even use checks to the check.
Join the Absa family and make fast, easy, and safe transactions with our digital products. Log on to absa.com.gh. No long tail. We like them simple and easy.
Believe me, no long things in my life, like I'm simple and easy.
Today, the question is no longer, why do we have problems? But rather, how can we spin those challenges into opportunities? This is the revolutionary mindset we, students here at Academic City, are driven by. Academic City, we believe that the challenges of today are nothing like the opportunities of tomorrow. Hence, we're poised for the future. And so we say,
come join us.
Pakuli. Voyez Batania.
Zalfula Nabia.
Viens nous rejoindre.
Brabe Kayan.
आओ हमारे साथ शामिल हो जाओ.
as we lead the charge to empower the next generation of future leaders. Academic City University College, redefining university education.
Hello again, and it continues to be exciting here with Alex Nsiah, our technical, oh, you're also something specialist. But you're telling us that, I mean, we'll get to a point where we can either make that decision of being very special, or trying to look at what managerial. You're also sharing with us what your preference is or what your recommendation is. Please keep your comments and your questions coming through. We have one from Baba from our Facebook page, and she's referring you to your statement that professors do not necessarily do real IT work. So how are they the standards for advanced education? So you will take that, and then there's a second one. Yeah, there's a second question still from her. So let's take this piece because this is really critical.
Okay. So I think Baba and anybody else out there who has this question, what you need to realize is that, especially for tertiary education, unfortunately, what we have in place now doesn't necessarily prepare you for the industry, but it's a foundation. It sows a seed in you. So truth is, yes, your professor may not have the industry experience, but he or she is pointing you in the right direction. The actual work needs to be done by you. Technology is changing so often. Your professor can't keep up with the changes. So professor will introduce you to programming, maybe using a very old language. If you realize you have a knack for it, you have a passion for it, the rest is up to you. There are a lot of tutorials online. You need to pick it up and then you study for it. Yes, so don't blame your professor so much. Own your future, and then do the work you need to do to get where you want to be.
It is in your hands, Baba, and like Alex says, it's rapid, it's changing, so you need to do the keeping up. They are made. They are the professors of the world, so they are made. The follow-up question is advanced education misleading?
So yeah, it's a resounding no. It's not misleading.
Okay.
It's not misleading.
It's not misleading.
So let me put it in context. It's you need to figure out what you want, right? If you don't do that, the world will keep dictating to you. Okay. Now, if there are two paths, if you want to go down the path of advanced education, you do your master's, you do your PhD, you do all that. What do you actually want? Where do you want to get to? If the dream is to teach, is to lecture, is to do certain things that are not really in the industry, by all means. And all this is about when you choose to do them. Okay, that doesn't mean that when you are in the industry, you're not going to do these advanced education courses, but it's when you choose to do them. So, for instance, if I'm a hiring manager, I need a senior software developer. I have someone who, right out of school after their bachelor's, they went to do their master's in computer engineering, then they did their PhD in robotics or something. And I have someone who's done only their bachelor's and then has 5 years industry experience. It's a no-brainer for me. Industry experience. Because, let me say it, agronomy, I need someone who will come and do the work for me. your book and your theories and your stuff, I mean, great. Different line of work, perfect. But what I need, that is not it. Same way, if I also need somebody to how do I put it, to be a project manager or to something that suits what you've done, I may consider your certifications and stuff and say, yes, let me give you a shot. But at the end of the day, you, the individual, you need to have a plan, else the world will dictate to you. If your plan is to go in the industry, because you don't expect to spend 7 years out of the industry, come back and then you just fit in just like that. No. You don't have the experience. It is what it is. You don't have it. So you need to take that decision and see, because every decision you take, every path you take has somewhere to lead you. So you need to take that decision and then see which path you're taking.
I wanted to take this very last question, which I feel is interesting. Kwekunyedu says, what do you think about Ghanaian tech workers working online and sometimes depriving the local market of tech skills? This will be our concluding question for the evening.
Can you take that again?
What do you think about Ghanaian tech workers working online, so remote working, and they're working for, Andala or all of these places, and sometimes depriving the local market of tech skills? This is coming from Kwekunyedu.
Okay. So
they're trying to make money.
Yeah, it's an interesting question actually. Okay, so as a developer, right, I like the fact that remote work has come and it has come to stay. I like the fact that as a software developer, you have so many options now, and the struggle is not
as it was
to get
before.
That kind of stuff. Now,
Cocoa season,
if you want to put it, but each of these have its specs, right? The remote work has its specs. The local industry also has its specs. So, for instance, remote work is paying you, say, $5,000 a month. That is good money. That too, yes. But remote work is not paying your health insurance. It's not paying your SNIT. It's not paying your. So it's more like you're chopping your future now. You get it? If you don't wise up and invest in these things, you get to a point where you realize, okay. But then local industries, maybe they are not paying so much, but you realize that it comes with these specs. So for someone like me who has kids, you realize that it just takes 2 trips to the hospital with any of the kids, and whichever money you saved up is gone. But luckily for you, your organization is giving you health insurance. So you just have to choose. Each one has what they are offering. And as a developer, when the options are there, again, you put yourself first, see what works for you, and then you make your decision. I like the fact that there's variety now.
Or you can be doing both.
And,
I know. But thank you so much, Alex. This is what time will offer us today. We're very grateful. It has been very exciting and informative. Thrilling, I must say. And we're proudly sponsored by Absa Bank Ghana Limited with support from Joy News and Joy Learning and Ghana Think Foundation. We're so grateful that we have you and all that you've shared with us. But the excitement continues. Tomorrow we will be here. We'll be speaking to a very special lady. I am happy because we've done one lady, we had 2 gentlemen, and so tomorrow we'll break that ice and have a lady speak to us. But it will be very interesting. So stick and stay, 5 p.m. sharp on Joy Learning, on Facebook page, NSNQ, STEMFest GH. Good evening.
Over the years, Primetime Limited has sustained efforts to promote the steady.
Alande, make I walk you through my everyday life. Busy from the morning light. My to-do list long, shadow fit to overlap. So sharp, turn on mobile app. School fees check, light bills check. Do I'm with speed like a G4 jet. You be at the day, I am not upset. Check, I don't even use checks to the check.
Join the Absa family and make fast, easy, and safe transactions with our digital products. Log on to absa.com.gh. No long tail. We like them simple and easy.
Believe me, no long things in my life, like I'm simple and easy.
Today, the question is no longer, why do we have problems? But rather, how can we spin those challenges into opportunities? This is the revolutionary mindset we, students here at Academic City, are driven by. Academic City, we believe that the challenges of today are nothing like the opportunities of tomorrow. Hence, we're poised for the future. And so we say,
Come join us.
Pakuli. Uyai Tibatane.
Zafula Mabia.
Viens nous rejoindre.
Brabe Kanyan.
आओ हमारे साथ शामिल हो जाओ
as we lead the charge to empower the next generation of future leaders. Academic City University College, redefining university education.